These are the data of sexual assault in Mauritania. This picture shows that the population of Mauritania and how it increases every 2 years. 1/3 of the population in Mauritania is getting raped every second. The population went from 3.5 million people in 2009 to 2010 to 4.4 million people in 2017 and 2018. In this chart, the Arab region, 70% of Mauritania women were oppressed with sexual violence by their intimate partners. In this chart, it shows that the reported rape rate decreases every year. The reason why people are being silent is because if they report it to the police, they will get punished, sent to prison, and be charged engaging in sexual relations outside marriage. On this chart, you can see that 15% of minors, 45% of young adults, 28% of adults, and 3% of elders get sexually assaulted every year.
This is a public service announcement on sexual assault by Fu, me, Cynthia, and Maya. Let's go over the timeline of it. This is just a quick summary, so it won't take too long. The motive. So what do I mean by the motive? Scheme, a perfect planned scheme by the attacker to approach the victim and proceed. So a scam, or basically tricked. The victim got tricked. The main action, right? This is the main action. Locked up, gang rape, drugged, etc. After main action, usually will be the police part. Okay, so this is like a usual timeline of a sexual assault, right? But you might think that the big part, the turning part of the crime is the action where the victim got raped and drugged and stuff. But specifically in Mauritania, the big problem is this part. The police part is the big part. Why? Why is the police part important? It's the police. Oh, why is it important? In Africa, Mauritania, in this case, we're talking about specifically the police. Guess what they told her when she asked for help? They told her to be quiet. Be quiet. As a result, most survivors didn't want to speak up. Cause why? First reason is it is not helpful. Cause at the end, they will know that the police will tell them to be quiet, which is not helpful at all. And other than that, the bigger thing is it will have the opposite outcome. Instead of helping her, the police might turn the victim into the attacker. And by that, they'll classify her as a Zina. Okay, so now I'll get into Zina and explain what it is, and then you guys will understand why is it a positive outcome.
عمري 18 سنة. قطعت خلقتي لحالة اغتصاب. كنت دحمي ساعة ماشية مع صحباتي. توتمنا ماشيين تخطاهم قدامي وبقيت أنا وراهم.
Throughout the years in Mauritania, many women face oppression against men that include sexual assault and harassment. An article explains several issues in our region over the past 25 years plagued by violence and conflict. This concludes that the future in the Middle East is grim. The oppressor was often shown mercy and even acquitted in the Arab region if they married their victims. In other countries like Morocco, the oppressor will be allowed to avoid prosecution if they married their victims. More than 6 in every 10 women survivors of oppression refrain from asking for any support or protection. Most women refrain because there is a law called Zina. Zina is an Islamic legal term referring to unlawful sexual intercourse that says survivors of sexual violence could be imprisoned for adultery, which is also why women who do speak up only go to their families and friends for support and protection.
They basically turn the person from the victim to the aggressor, from the good person to a bad person, and she will all end up in jail. Get in jail for getting raped.
In Mauritania, rape survivors are afraid to report the assault to the police because under Mauritanian law, consensual sexual relations outside of marriage is criminalized and prohibited. So when women and girls report sexual assault incidents to the police, they could be prosecuted if they can't prove that they did not consent.
So, sexual assault is like a big thing. It destroys a person's life, obviously. So I think personally it would be the same thing as killing, torture, and lastly, abortion. All these three and sexual assault itself have the same message of a person's life is ruined. So I strongly encourage everyone that's having a lucky life to put some effort and try to make a change towards probably the rules or the laws of those countries that lacks of the forces. So strong rules, good rules, good society, right? Bad rules, bad society. It's vice versa, right? That's how it is. There's no place on earth where there's a good society. It's because the rules is so strong and strict. That's why everybody follows it. Therefore, we will have a good society. Everybody in the world is same. No one is good or bad because of the rules that controls it. Okay, thank you. And here are some footage of me interviewing some people on sexual assault, and let's see what they think. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Weiss.
Hi.
Okay, what do you think about sexual assault?
Sexual assault?
Yeah.
I think it's taking unfair advantage of another person, and I think it should be criminalized. And I think that a lot of times people use their age or their position of authority to try to get away with it, and they should not be allowed to get away with it.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Horrible, inexcusable, should not happen.
What do you think about sexual assault?
Well, I think that, well, first of all, it's awful and it's wrong and it should not happen. As far as preventing it, I think that people, men usually, need to understand what consent means. And I think that the gender roles in society are, need to be maybe changed a little bit so that I just think that there can be more respect from between men.
And what do you think about sexual assault?
What do I think about it? Obviously, it's wrong, but I guess what you're really asking is what can we do about it? Definitely, victims' rights. It's not always the case, I guess, protected in many countries, especially in these incidences where he said, she said kind of situation, and but definitely, there's definitely like the Me Too movement and all those movements, what's happening around the world in India, and definitely we need to bring more awareness, and make the victims more comfortable to come out, we need definitely. I think the culture has to change as well. How do we teach boys about how to behave and how to treat, girls and women? And I think that's a big part of it. It's not just legal changes and laws, but definitely, as parents, we need to do a better job of, training our girls, but also the boys. Educating our boys what's acceptable and what's not.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.